Hello and welcome to Unapologetic, the UK podcast on politics, news and stuff from a right-of-centre viewpoint. It's actually the second time we've recorded this because the first time we've got to press the record button.
We?
Yes,
yeah,
we.
We're not allowed to
we're
touch
a
the
team.
screen.
We've got to take collective responsibility.
We're not allowed to touch anything.
Okay, guys. So the first item, of course, on the agenda today. Why are you signalling me?
Because you've not said hello to any of us. They don't know who we are.
Oh, right then. I'll introduce you. First of all, we got Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam.
We've got Susan.
Hi.
We've got Jonathan.
Hello.
And sitting in at the back, just listening, we've got Abby.
Hi.
Okay, so are we ready now? Can
Yes.
I move on? Good.
Oh, don't.
I feel like I can move on now. So the first item, of course, on the agenda today is what happened in Parliament because it's a big parliamentary day, and Parliament once again scuppered Boris Johnson's plans by amending the vote on his deal today and passing the Oliver Letwin amendment. So Boris Johnson insists he won't ask for extensions as MPs back Brexit delay by passing Letwin amendment by 322 votes to 306. And even the DUP has turned against Boris Johnson before the key Commons vote, leaving us all in a very precarious situation. What do you make of it all, Sam?
I think it's an absolute... Well, I won't even swear and say the word, but I just think it's a really awful thing to happen. We were on the verge of a deal, so they kept saying that Boris wasn't going to get a deal, and they didn't believe him, and he then did negotiate one. I think that everyone said wasn't possible and the EU wouldn't do, but he did. And he took it to Parliament, and they've just now done this. And they say that the reason was because they were just scared that he was lying and he wouldn't do it and it would be a no deal. But what worries me is everyone on this People's Vote March cheered when it happened. So I think what it really is about is stopping Brexit.
Of course it is. Everything they do is
Of
about
course,
stopping Brexit.
And I just think that it's just absolutely disgusting, to be honest with you. They should absolutely be thoroughly ashamed of themselves.
And anybody who's even halfway reasonable thought Boris had done it, that the deal was pretty good, it's better than May's and it was worth doing. And the only people who didn't think so were the ones who absolutely wanted to remain and a few nutty Farage fans. And that's pretty much it. Even half the Brexit MEPs seem to be supporting it. What do you think of it, Jonathan?
I just need to clarify, is this the same Oliver Letwin who agreed to repay a bill for £2,145 for replacing a leaking pipe under his tennis court at his constituency home in Dorset, which he had claimed as part of his parliamentary expenses?
Yeah, well, I'm still sure that it is the same Oliver Letwin because there is only one Oliver Letwin.
Well, I think that says all needs to be said about Oliver Letwin then, in which
He's
case...
clearly in touch with his constituents, isn't he?
Yeah,
with his
he's...
This guy
tennis
is a
court.
complete shyster. I'm telling you that now. Everyone today was knows that the member from West Dorset was mentioned a number of times via a number of text messages in Parliament today, and I won't use the word because there was a child present, but there was a 4-letter expletive exchanged about that man a lot today.
Well, everyone calls him Wetwin, don't they? But can I just say, back when it was still the coalition government, I was telling everybody that the country is right for a reasonable right-of-centre government. And all of this wet lefty stuff is just going to end in tears, and it has gradually ended in tears, hasn't it?
But what I want to know, though, with all this stuff that's gone on today, will that actually change anything? Can Boris still get us out?
Well, it depends on who you speak to, doesn't it? Because some people say, well, he's got a plan that we're going to get to the end of the month and he's going to do some trick of the law or just refuse to obey the law and challenge the police to arrest him or any number of other things. And some people say, no, he's been outfoxed. At the end of the month, he's gonna have to ask for extension.
He can't, though, can he? Because they won't grant one either, will they?
Well, that again is another thing people argue about. Some people say that the EU someone in the EU is going to veto it, and some people say they're not. What do you think, Jonathan? Going to happen or not?
No, it's not going to happen.
You don't think we're going to get out at the end of the month?
Oh, we will get out at the end of the month.
Oh, right, okay, well, that's good. So what isn't going to happen then?
Well, us not getting out at the end of the month.
So, what do you think?
Wow.
Are we still going to get out at the end of the month? What do you think?
I don't know, but I really hope so. Because I just think it's gone on for so long now. It looks awful. It looks absolutely awful to people that they can... It's basically saying that you can vote for something and we're going to ignore it because we know better than you do.
Well, Boris Johnson has insisted he will not ask for an extension. He's insisted he won't. He said, I'm not doing it. So, I think we should take him at his word. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Unapologetic with you, Boris. He
Yes.
cares as well because I'm sure he's one of the listeners.
I would say.
Oddly, we got to about 950 subscribers today, and then it dropped back to 650. Is this that mythical YouTube messing with right of centre websites going on? What do you think? Right of centre podcasts?
I don't know. Maybe people just really liked us and they thought, nah.
What? Half of them?
Yeah,
A
they
third
just
of them,
instantly
rather.
was like, do you know what, we've changed our minds.
or it could be that they have someone working for them who forgot to put the on button on.
Not letting them get away with that one, are we?
Damn you. Okay, we're going to move on now to...
Did I just say, though, actually, one thing that's really sad is watching all the ministers being led out of Parliament and they're all being surrounded by multiple police.
Yeah, I
Just-
saw Andrea Leadsom coming out
That's what I'm
surrounded
just
by
watching
police.
now, yeah.
And I mean, those self-entitled... Oh, I can't even name what they are. But those Remainers who hang around outside and keep shouting, "You should be ashamed." They're the ones who should bloody be ashamed, aren't they? I mean, God's sake, what do they look like? Do they not understand that Leave won? So shut up and get out of the way. I mean, is that not fair?
It's the entitled people, though, isn't it? Where they feel that their voice is better than anyone
They
else's.
think they're cleverer. They think they're superior to the majority who voted to leave, don't they? They're convinced of it. And they probably tell themselves that they're trying for the best, but what it really is they think they're superior to those people who voted to leave.
Yeah,
I
which
think
is ironic, isn't it?
It is this supercilious attitude that, I mean, bear in mind, I voted Remain, and if we ever did have a second referendum, we would certainly be voting to leave.
Yeah.
And it's because of the patronising and supercilious manner in which people have flouted democracy just in order to stop something happening.
Can I just say, you managed to squeeze supercilious in twice there.
I know.
That was good.
I've got a sort of a deal on
Is
it.
it word of the
Yeah,
day?
yeah, exactly.
And also, they did it to Mog as well, and he had his little boy with him. I think that's a bit wrong.
They don't give us stuff, do they? They don't care about anyone. They're so up themselves, they just don't care. Just unbelievable.
It's a pity that they can't return the behaviour, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think if someone was screaming and shouting at me, I think I'd end up screaming and shouting back.
I'll tell you
I
what,
suppose if you had your kid with you as well, and someone
I'd
was
be
shouting
furious.
obscenities and trying to hit you and
if
throw
there were
things
just
at
as
you.
many Leave voters there, I bet they wouldn't be anywhere near as noisy.
Well, yeah. They're at work, though.
I know, we've said this before, haven't we? All right, let's move on. So the next one is about Baroness Lawrence, who says that she has no doubt that racism was involved in the Grenfell Tower tragedy, saying, had that been a block full of white people in there, they would have done everything to get them out as fast as possible and make sure they did what they needed to do. What do you make of that statement, Jonathan?
Well, it's basically racist, isn't it? A number of the firemen either, the firemen did not select by racial group who they were going to rescue. Rather interesting, her approach to it would be that, you knock on the door, find the 3 Algerians there. Because your quota is 2 Algerians, you can only rescue 2 of them before you have to move on to another racial group. I mean,
Nonsense,
this is
isn't it?
absolute nonsense. The firemen were heroically doing what they were paid to do and doing a good job. I mean, she has got a fair criticism of the advice that was given by the fire service, which was stay indoors, but that is the advice that all fire services up to that point was taken as being the correct action to take when there's a fire in a tower block.
Yeah.
That is being reviewed, not unsurprisingly, and but her assertion that that somehow the victims were racially selected is just nonsense.
Well, I know this has upset you a bit, Sam. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I just think it's awful. I mean, I know that the General Secretary of the Fire Brigades Union has asked to meet her urgently because he's saying that this is absolutely awful. To say that what the comments that she said, it's really untrue and unjust. But this is actually a quote that I found that I think actually I agree with wholeheartedly. So I don't know who the guy is, to be honest with you, but he says that he hopes that she's got the good grace to withdraw her comments. Some firefighters were dragged from the tower after collapsing through sheer exhaustion, and one sent a text message to his family because he thought he would die, and they deserve better. And they do, because these people who were climbing up 10, 20 flights of stairs with full apparatus on in boiling hot temperatures, trying to get people out. And some of them were getting up. I mean, I remember hearing some of the inquest, they were getting to floor sort of 15, 16, only being able to perhaps carry one person and having to leave people in flats and go down those stairs, knowing they've left people behind. And that's going to have taken a massive mental and emotional toll on them that they are going to be living with every day of their lives. And they don't deserve someone to then go and say that they were racist. She's just, I don't know, I haven't really got any words for it.
It's wrong, isn't it? Because in the end we are talking about, and they weren't all white firefighters, were they? I'm sure they were.
No, there's kids
no.
who were
All
with
different
them.
sorts of firefighters. They're all different racial origins, and I'm sure they all went in there and did their absolute best to save as many people with no regard to what the origins or nature or skin colour of those people were. What a terrible thing to suggest. I'm sure she's grieving, but that's no excuse, is it?
No, it's not. Actually, she should be genuinely ashamed of what she sat there and said. Those firefighters are our heroes. What they did that day and the days afterwards, actually, this is not just someone that pitched
every
up.
day.
Well, this is not someone that pitched up for a 2-hour shift, is it? This is someone who put their life on the line, and they were. I mean, this was extreme circumstances as well. This was a tragedy. They didn't know the building was going to burn the way it was. They didn't know that the sprinkler system wasn't working the way it should do. They didn't know any of this. They didn't know who was in the flats because there was people that were living there illegally as well. So they didn't know who was on the tenancy. So everything was working against them. The fact that they saved as many people as they did is a testament to how amazing they were.
Yeah.
She should genuinely be ashamed. I get that she's got her own issues about racism, but she has no right to bring that into this arena. No right whatsoever.
I think what might have been a more appropriate target for her would have been our friend Oliver Letwin, who back in 1985, when the riots were happening in London, the government of the day wanted to bring in a communities programme to tackle inner city problems by helping black entrepreneurs start businesses, refurbishing public housing, council blocks, and establishing training for low income youths. And Oliver Letwin's response claimed it would not ameliorate the situation, but would do little more than subsidise Rastafarian arts and crafts workshops, stating that black entrepreneurs will set up in the disco and drug trade.
Yeah,
So I think
Oliver Letwin said that.
Oliver
Are
Letwin,
you sure about this quote?
I'm absolutely sure about this, and Oliver Letwin, I think, would have been a far better target of any claims of racism.
Well, I'm not sure
That's
how we
another-
managed to drag Oliver Letwin over into this one, but
You don't like him, do you,
no,
Jonathan?
I don't. I don't much like him now either. Okay, let's move on anyway. So the next item on our agenda is LGBT rights campaigners have protested outside a shopping centre about a fast food chain's donations to anti-LGBT rights groups. More than 60 people joined the protest outside the Oracle shopping centre in Reading, where Chick-fil-A opened its first branch on the 10th of October. On Friday, the centre said that the chain's 6-month lease would not be extended. Chick-fil-A has said its donations were purely focused on youth and education. Reading Pride, which organised the protest, said it would continue to campaign against the outlet until it left. So, well, it sounds like they've managed to bully it out of the area. What do you make of that, Sam?
I think that it's pretty awful. So what this has come about from is that Chick-fil-A in America, the CEO said back in 2002 that the Bible would shake its fist at homosexuals, which obviously wasn't a very nice thing to say. But obviously he's entitled to a view, but it's not something I would agree with or say.
And he's like a born again or fundamentalist Christian, isn't
so
he?
he's obviously done that, and they've supported some Christian organisations which fund some countries which have programmes that are against LGBT. And then I suppose so that was obviously in 2002. So some people would argue that that's all happened now. They've stopped doing that. They've changed. Some people say that they've not changed at all and they're kind of the same old brand. Also, I think because they're Trump supporters, they're not really liked. So yeah, that's Chick-fil-A really.
Chick-fil-A or Chick-fil-A, I'm not sure how you pronounce
Chick-fil-A.
it. They are they're a big rival to like KFC and the like in America. So they're a very successful chain, and they have been they've been protested against a lot in America. You're right for all the reasons you said, and the fact that they've been openly supportive of the Trump administration. And I know that the left wingers in America hate them, and clearly they've decided to carry that grudge over here. But none of those staff in this new chicken burger restaurant in Reading have anything to do with the managing director, are they? What do you think, Jonathan?
I think if you're going to set up a business in the UK, why would you pick Reading?
Reading's as good as anywhere else. What's wrong with Reading?
Well, I bet he's regretting it now, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have chosen.
Obviously a hotbed of LGBT activism, so perhaps they should have chosen somewhere else.
Yeah, should have come on to Cambridgeshire or Norfolk. That'd have been fine.
Yes.
What do you make of it, Susan?
I think it's a real pity because the thing with LGBTQ is that everyone that was in that community is trying to promote tolerance and acceptance and that kind of caring and learning attitude of where we, find nothing was accepted X amount of years ago, but now we're getting to a place where it is. And we do that by dialogue, we do that by talking, we do that by accepting, we do that by role modelling. And all the things that they're doing actually kind of goes against what they're trying to preach, which is a real pity.
Because I mean, people have a right to follow the religion they want to follow, and all religions have different strands that believe different things. There are plenty of Christians that have no problem at all with LGBT, and there are some who take a different view, but they're not calling the harm to them or calling them to be banned. If he said that God would shake a fist or some metaphor like that, I mean, why does that cause for years and years and years protests?
I don't know, if I'm honest with you, I really don't.
It's intolerant, isn't it?
It is, and like I said, there's just a better way of going about it. I think, I know the first time we recorded this, Steve, that you didn't bother pressing record on, that Sam came up with a really good point. Wasn't it, about actually if this is what they're trying to do, they're actually going the right way about it, because they are getting it shut down. They are doing the.
Well, that makes me sad.
They're protesting
actually.
well.
The shopping centre has caved, hasn't it?
Yeah.
To this ridiculous protest.
But it's
and
probably
now
not worth
those
the
people,
hassle.
those people who started work there, they haven't got jobs anymore. People who want to go there and enjoy a Chick-fil-A burger, whatever that is, can't do it. And just because they've decided that something someone said years ago is a problem for them. I mean, it's.
And interestingly, they don't go and protest against any shops that are owned by people that support Islam.
No, that's right.
And
I mean,
actually, what the Quran says about homosexuality is far more stronger than it says about in the Bible. I mean, it's only really referenced in the Old Testament. Not all Christians completely follow that, but in Islam, it's Allah says to you that you should not commit homosexuality. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. That's what they say. It says in the Quran. So
well, the treatment of
protesting
LGBT people in strongly Muslim countries, in some of them, is very extreme, isn't it? And you're right. We don't really see them. They only seem to protest against the easy targets, don't they? Is that fair? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall ever seeing an LBGT protest outside a halal butchers, and I doubt if I ever will.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's one of those things we just have to deal with. Let's move on anyway. So last item on the agenda, there's been a fierce backlash as a Labour MP demands childcare costs for the crunch Brexit vote that took place today. Labour MP Chris Bryant received criticism after calling for the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, IPSA, to cover childcare costs for MPs attending Parliament today. And, well, I mean, do you think that was a clever move, Sue?
I think it was a cracking move, isn't it? Because it's not like they get a lot of money, and it's not like they get expenses, is it? And it's not like it's not like they get all the Saturdays off or anything, is it? So actually, to be fair, bless their little cotton socks. It must have been a real hard thing to do. 3 Saturdays in 70 years? I mean, I personally feel that we should all do a GoFundMe page for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think bless
Absolutely.
them.
I mean, the way I see it, if we are going to ask them to come to work on a Saturday, which none of us ever have to do, none of us have ever called in for any overtime.
Never worked.
They should definitely get every expense they want because they're important people, aren't they?
I'm happy to set up a creche for them. I'll develop my own creche and set it up there for them.
Massage in case they get a bit tired. What do you think, Jonathan?
I think it.
Don't do it. Don't talk about Letwin.
I wasn't going to mention Oliver Letwin until you mentioned it. It does stem from this sort of sense of entitlement which leads people like Oliver Letwin, who agreed to repay £2,145 for replacing a leaky pipe under his tennis court as part of his parliamentary expenses. You heard it here first.
And
So
3 times,
I
I
want
think.
to know what happened that made him realise the pipe under the tennis court was leaking. Were they like playing tennis and then one of them went and sunk up to the knee or something?
Or just they got a green patch in the middle of the.
What do you think, Sam? What do you think about this demand for childcare?
I just think Chris Bryant's a funny guy. He was nicknamed Captain Underpants by the Evening Standards back in 2008 because he was captured on gay dating site Gaydar back in 2003 in his underpants. And not that I have any objection to people, soliciting sex anonymously on the internet by posing in their underpants. Because, we're all concerning adults and stuff, but it just made me chuckle.
But I don't want to pay for his childcare costs. I don't care what he does privately, but I don't want to pay for his childcare costs.
Or his underpant cleaning costs.
Yes, I've got no interest in it. I just think, if I'd have said to my mate that I was going to work and I was going to ask for extra childcare costs because I'm actually employed to do the hours that I'm supposed to be doing, they would have laughed at me. Now, they were all smiling and cheering him on that day, It astounds me that they're so out of touch with reality that they think that was okay to ask for.
What does it look like to people? I mean, they simply can't get Brexit done. They're giving the whole country the runaround for years. They get this one crunch vote where just for once they said, let's sort this out and come in on the Saturday. And they're like, well, I'm going to need a few bucks for it.
They can't ask their spouses because they tend to be all employed, don't they? So buy them with their little
Buy them, yeah.
buy them. So it's a bit hard then, isn't it? Because you've got to pay everyone in your family to do all your bidding with your 3 homes. So bless them. I'm happy to set up a GoFundMe page for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we should just do a whip round.
Yes. I don't pay enough tax all month, so yeah, I'm all up for that.
Okay, good. I just want to be sure, Jonathan. In regards to this posing in underpants on websites, have you ever done that?
No.
You sure?
Absolutely certain.
Well, that's probably for the best. Okay, guys, well, I think we've sort of come to the end now, and hopefully we've actually successfully recorded it this time. We have been Unapologetic, the UK podcast on politics, news and stuff. On my right of centre viewpoint. Say goodnight, Sam.
Night.
Say goodnight, Susan.
Night.
Abby.
Night.
And Jonathan.
Cheerio.
And I've been Steve. Talk to you soon. Bye.